Can I be honest with you for a second? If you've ever found yourself signing up for another class, buying another book, adding another thing to your already heavy leadership backpack, thinking maybe this will finally fix it, but deep down, you still feel stuck, overwhelmed, or even ashamed that you're not getting it faster, then this conversation, it's for you. Because what if the problem isn't that you don't know enough? What if the real reason you're still stuck is that you're carrying around something else entirely? So let's talk about it. Let me take you back to a moment that changed everything for me. It was about 7 years into owning my salon. I had a whiteboard that was covered in KPIs, sticky notes were everywhere, and I was reading John Maxwell in one hand and listening to what we would now call a podcast in the other. And I still felt like a failure. Why? Because someone had a bad week. A stylist didn't hit a goal. I was holding tension in my chest. And if you've ever felt that way, you know that you feel tired, frustrated, and you're quietly beating yourself up. And then someone said, just coach her through it. Pour belief into her. So what did I do? I went into that meeting with more charts, more words, more stuff. And she didn't light up. She didn't grow. I walked out feeling heavier. So here's the thing, more knowledge isn't always the answer. Because when you pile it on top of an unhealed belief, an identity that's rooted in guilt, a subconscious belief of I'm not enough, all you do is bury the real issue deeper. It's like spraying dry shampoo over 6-day-old hair because it's still greasy underneath. And let's talk about guilt for a second because it's sneaky and it's heavy. The old English word guilt literally means crime or moral failure. And yet, most of us carry it around like a leadership badge. We feel guilty for wanting rest, delegating, still not doing it perfect, saying no, having boundaries, outgrowing an old teammate. But guilt, it's not a guide, it's a grip, and it will choke the joy out of leadership if you don't deal with it. I used to carry around guilt like it was my duty. If my team had a bad month, I blamed myself. If someone quit, I took it personal. If I dared to dream bigger, I felt selfish. And so I kept piling on more strategies, more how-to, more fix-me content, but it didn't work because I was trying to build on top of a cracked foundation. You might be doing the same thing, not because you're not smart, but because no one ever gave you permission to ask deeper questions first. So, questions like, what belief am I still carrying that no longer serves me? Where am I trying to earn worth through performance? What do I need to release before I can receive the next level? Now you might be thinking, but I just need a better system. And yes, systems work, but if that system won't work if the belief underneath it is broken. You might also be thinking, but I don't have time to journal or get deep. You don't have time not to, because unaddressed beliefs create decision fatigue. They cause second guessing. They cause drama, burnout, micromanaging, and low self-trust. But this stuff feels too emotional for business, is what you might also be thinking. Let me ask you this. Have you ever made a business decision that didn't have emotion behind it? Exactly. Let's stop pretending that belief doesn't matter. And let's shift this right now. Because here's a few prompts that I want you to sit with this week. Go ahead and write these down. These are great writer downers. Where in my business do I feel like I keep doing all the right things, but still feel like it's not working? Yeah, so where in my business do I feel like I keep doing all the right things, but still feel like it's not working? Or what old identity am I still dragging with me into leadership? Maybe you think you're a stylist, but you're really leading, or you think you're, a lash artist, but you're really the leader. Another one is, what would my salon or spa feel like if I led from freedom instead of guilt? That is so powerful when you get clear on that. You could also ask yourself, write down, what would I delete, delegate, or dare to do if I no longer needed to prove anything? You guys, these questions are not fluff. They are the clearing that makes room for the strategy to finally work. Imagine this. You're no longer stuck in a loop of what else should I add? You have a clean, powerful belief system underneath your strategy. You stop overcompensating, you stop apologizing for wanting peace, and your salon starts to reflect the energy of a leader who is whole. You're not chasing anymore, you're building from clarity. You finally feel light, in charge, aligned. That's not just good for your nervous system, it's good for business. If this spoke to you and you're realizing you don't need another tip, you need a transformation. That's exactly why we created Salon Success Secrets 3-Day Challenge. It's not just a course, it's a coaching environment where belief meets strategy, where we clear what's in the way before we stack on top. Inside you'll get done for you pricing, mindset rewiring, coaching that converts into dollars, a real path out of guilt and into aligned growth, because you deserve support that actually gets it. So go ahead and text the word challenge, CHALLENGE, to 469-283-5590. That's if you want to join our next challenge, because you don't have to carry it all anymore. Let's unpack it. Let's clear it. Let's build something from the inside out together.